you're just joining us, it is Sunday morning, and we are essentially recovering at the moment from 13 hours of violence in this country. Of course, we had El Paso, where 20 people were killed in a mass shooting, and overnight, just a few hours ago, starting at 1 a.m., another shooting. 9 people have died, 16 are injured in Dayton, Ohio. And in fact, there was a man, Isaac Johnson, who was there at 1 a.m. Here's what he saw.
Oh, dude, what the
Now, part of what is so jolting about that, I'm sure you recognized, is it starts out with the pop, pop, pop of bullets at a regular pace. Or I don't know what a regular pace is, but at a smaller, shorter pace, and then all of a sudden, a barrage of gunshots. That's because that suspect was shot dead by police officers, and you essentially heard that happen. And I want to be very sensitive to this, because as we heard those gunshots going off, let's be honest, we were hearing people die. We talked to Isaac Johnson about what he saw and what he was doing in that moment. Let's listen.
I'll be honest, I didn't really know at first, because I take my girlfriend to work and pick her up on the weekends, usually there. And there's always nice motorcycles and cars, so I take videos. And I was kind of sitting there waiting for one, and I heard a pop, and I kind of thought maybe they were doing fireworks or something. Just like there was just 1 or 2 right before I started the video, and then it was like 3 or 4, and I kind of like fireworks are timed to be like specifically like 5 seconds or 3 seconds apart, or right back to back, and those were just spaced out uneven. So I was like, excuse my profanity in that, but yeah, I was like, what's going on? And then I saw people start running, and cars just started coming out of the intersection like recklessly. I was just confused, really. I didn't even get out of the car, because I was just sitting there like watching everything happen.
I saw the window going up and down. Did you get the sense that were you trying to protect yourself in that moment?
I don't really know. I think I was gonna I was thinking, since it's gunshots, I should go inside, and then I was, at the same time, I was looking at my phone, and I was like, well, I need to record this, so I don't know, I just was sitting there deciding if I needed to roll my window down to see what was happening, or if I needed to get out and go inside.
Isaac, is your girlfriend okay?
Yeah, she is, thankfully.
Was she in front of or in the building near where this happened?
No, she's actually at work at the Dublin pub, and I know there was a couple that came in, and the woman was, she was like extremely in shock. They were in meds, and I guess she said that they heard a couple shots and people rushed the door, and they just all dropped. And then another one of her coworkers was at a nearby restaurant or bar or something. She heard a few shots, and everyone there was like diving on the ground, hitting the bar. And she was, I experienced nothing. Like I was like the car pretty much. Nobody was paying attention to me. I was just there kinda, and it's just crazy.
So Isaac, we see through your video that you got out of the car. What happened after that?
I actually walked up to the door, and I was about to go inside, and then I started looking back, so I was just kind of confused. I was like, I don't know, I didn't know if like, because it stopped, so I was like, I didn't know. Like, I could tell, it sounded to me like there's a few guns, like one gun doesn't fire that fast, obviously. I don't know if there was cops already like on the street or what, but
Did you
Yeah.
see, we saw the people running in your video. Did you talk to anybody before you got back in your car?
No, I didn't. I just sat and I kind of just heard the people across the room, and I know, like, I wasn't really trying to, like, eavesdrop, but I could just kind of see by how she was talking. She was, like, putting her hands over her head, and, like, I don't know, I heard her when she came in and she saw someone get shot. I already knew that, so I was just kind of, by how many shots is what it was, that's all I was wondering. I didn't want to ask, like, did you see?
Sure.
I didn't want to ask any questions, you know what I mean? But that's a little excessive, if you ask me. That's so crazy. That's just insane.
All right, let's go live now to Nan Whaley, the mayor of Dayton, Ohio.
Okay, I'm Nan Whaley, mayor of the city of Dayton. With me is Assistant Chief Likens of the Dayton Fire Department, Deputy Chief Matt Carper from the Dayton Police Department, Dayton City Commissioner Jeff Mems, City Manager Shelley Dickstein, and Dayton City Commissioner Darrell Fairchild. At 1:07 this morning, an event occurred in our historic Oregon district. A suspect opened fire along the Oregon district who was wearing body armor and used a .223 caliber high-capacity magazine. He had additional magazines. 26 have been injured and are at area hospitals. 10 fatalities in our community, including the shooter. In less than 1 minute, Dayton first responders neutralized the shooter. While this is a terribly sad day for our city, I am amazed by the quick response of Dayton police that saved literally hundreds of lives. If you are a family or friend of a victim, we invite you to come to the convention center or call 333-8430. That's 937-333-8430. And if you have any information on the incident, if you were in the Oregon District today and have information, please call 937-225-6217. Again, that number is 937-225-6217. Red Cross, the Greater Dayton Area Hospital Association, Adamus, and support for our police and first responders are on scene and on site to help the situation. We, of course, are incredibly grateful for our partners in this very sad incident. Dayton has been through a lot already this year, and I continue to be amazed by the grit and resiliency of our community. Certainly, this is a day that will be filled with prayer for our citizens, prayer for the families and friends, and prayer for our community. We ask everyone to be thinking of these people as they're going through this very, very difficult time. But I know as a community, we will continue to move through it. With that, I'll open it up for questions.
Mayor, do you believe this is premeditated, the fact that he wore body armor? Because earlier we thought maybe there was an argument, he was denied entry, he couldn't get in, and that's when he became frustrated. But wearing body armor might indicate premeditation?
Well, certainly I'm not in the shooter's head, but he was wearing body armor, had magazines and extra magazines.
Mayor, is there more than one shooter that you guys know of? We're hearing that from witnesses.
I can address that. Initially, from our initial investigation, it appears as though there's only one shooter. We are interviewing dozens of people. Obviously, it's very early in the investigative stage, so we're at the early stages, so we can't confirm that this is the only person involved. But for right now, that is our belief.
What do we know about the suspect? Or about the shooter?
Yeah, we can provide more information on identity and additional information at a later time, but it's too early in the investigation to to get to some of those details.
Are you able to say whether the police, how the shooter died? Was it from a police officer or himself?
I can tell you within seconds, less than a minute, the officers who were already patrolling that area fired on the shooter to stop his aggressive behavior and stop the shooting.
Were there officers on a detail inside that club or helping with the security of that club?
This isn't a club issue. It's in the Oregon District neighborhood of the Oregon District Business Association. Certainly we had police officers there. It's a Saturday night.
Mayor, how many officers are normally there on Saturday night? How many officers are normally there on Saturday night?
I can't give you
number,
exact
yeah.
numbers on every single Saturday night. I can tell you we had officers on patrol in the Oregon District over this past evening, and they were there in the immediate vicinity when this occurred.
And when you hear mass shootings in other places, and now there's one in Dayton, what goes through your mind?
Well, look, as a mayor, this is a day that we all dread happening, and certainly what's very sad is I've gotten messages from cities across the country is that so many of us have gone through it. Today is the 250th mass shooting in America. It's sad that it's in the city of Dayton.
Mayor, have you spoken with any officials at the state or federal level yet?
Yes, I've been in touch with Governor DeWine this morning.
Was the shooter going bar to bar? I'm told that he was outside, or they were outside.
We'll have more details on the shooting as this moves forward, and we will continue to stay in touch with you during the day as we get more information. This was in the Oregon District area.
It was outside Net Peppers, though.
But out.
It was in the Oregon District area.
Do we know
In the outside area.
Is there any traces, or do you guys think this is a possible hate crime?
Again, we don't know the thoughts of the shooter at this time. We know that he was wearing body armor and had high-capacity magazines and extra magazines.
What did Governor DeWine say when he spoke to him?
He just offered his condolences to the city of Dayton, was incredibly impressed with the work of the Dayton Police Department to have this situation under control in less than a minute, and then offered any support that he could give.
Mayor Whaley, describe the past 6 months for you, for the city. It's been tough, and now this.
Yes, it's been a tough 6 months for our community, but you work through that, and right now our focus is on the families and friends, frankly, that went to downtown on a Saturday night and thought that they'd go home safe, and that didn't happen.
Have you gotten to talk to some of those family members downstairs?
No, we haven't had. They are in the process right now, so I have not spoken to any of them.
How many people have come to the convention center? Have you been receiving calls on the hotline about the shooting itself, but also people needing assistance or wanting assistance?
We don't have numbers for that. You know, this is the first press conference that we'll have throughout the day. We will have information like that as the day comes forward. We were really asking you all to share those two numbers. That's really important right now. And to get the message out for people that have lost loved ones and for people that may have information.
Again, can you list the gun that the shooter had?
The gun that the shooter had was a 223 caliber high-capacity magazine. He had additional magazines, and he was wearing body armor.
Can you repeat that one more time?
223 caliber high-capacity magazine. He had additional.
Was it a rifle? Or pistol?
Yes.
Very large gun. In technical terms.
Have you been able? Again, I know you said it was early. Where he got the weapon? Where
Not yet.
legally obtained any of that?
We don't have any of that information yet.
So what are you trying to provide to the people downstairs, the families, friends? What are you trying to provide to them?
Look, I think if imagine yourself in their position, their family member was out on a Saturday night, or somebody regularly enjoying their friends on Saturday night. We want to make sure that they get the best information possible. You all are key in that conversation, but sometimes the information that comes out is not correct. So we want to make sure that they have that, and then we want to make sure that they get the services that they need. I mean, this is going to be a very difficult time for at least 10 families in our community. And their lives have completely changed. But in addition to the 26 that are injured, it could be many more that lives are changed.
What's the extent of the injuries, and are some of them life-threatening?
Yes.
Do you know how many? I mean,
No, I don't have numbers.
Can you talk more about the body armor? Was it just a Kevlar vest? Was there headgear? What does that mean when you say body armor?
We'll be able to get to more details on that at a later time.
So what's next for the city?
Well, we'll continue. We're asking you to continue to push information out around the tip line, and also information to get to family and friends, and we'll be continuing to do that work. We'll be working in concert with the coroner and other folks that are doing this effort. And then we want to take care of our first responders. Our first responders this year have been through a lot, and so we'll be doing that work. And then we will work to make sure that you are have the most up-to-date information and correct information throughout the day. So you can count on us to come back and continue to keep you in information. My ask for you all is to don't go on a story that is not true, that cannot be confirmed, in return for that open access over the day.
What hospitals are the victims at?
They're in multiple hospitals across the city.
And as you saw the mass shooting in El Paso play out yesterday, did you ever imagine or prepare for the first responders acted so quickly? How did you guys prepare for this?
Well, are you talking about the El Paso responders responding so quickly? Our responders, look, I think time and again, I, as mayor, have been amazed by Dayton first responders. I think they are a special, amazing group of first responders. If Dayton police had not gotten to the shooter in under a minute, and think of that, 26 injured, 9 dead, hundreds of people in the Oregon District could be dead today. And that work and that bravery by our first responders is something that moves me to get up every morning to continue to do this work.
Mayor, as the leader, I mean, I can see the emotion on your face.
Mm-hmm.
When you're speaking to other leaders, you know, around the city, if not the state, the country, how do you help the situation here? How do you lead? What do you say? What's the message to these families today?
Oh, I don't think anything I can say can help the people that have lost loved ones. But I think for us, we have to just be there. And I think that's what we'll do. We'll continue to stand in the gap in that and try to give them the space and grace that they need during this time.
Do you see any changes in the near future? Have you thought about that in terms of safety protocol or how you can avoid things like this happening?
Look, I think the police and our first responders have done an amazing job. Clearly, the question has to be raised: why does Dayton have to be the 250th mass shooting in America? 250. I mean, that's really the question.
When you say that number, are you talking about this year? Or?
This year. We are El Paso was 249, Dayton was 250 this year.
What type of surveillance video or cameras do businesses in the Oregon District have that may be valuable to your investigation?
Many businesses do have security cameras and video, and obviously we're checking to see what is available and to use that as part of our investigation. So some of that has already been done, some of that is to be done.
Do you have any idea how many people may have been in the district last night? Hundreds, thousands?
Oh, it'll be thousands. It's a Saturday night in the district in the summer. So I mean, you know, and it was 110. I mean, there's thousands.
There were initial reports that has something to do with the shooter being denied access to the club. Is there any truth to that? Is that?
I'm not aware of that information, but like I said, it's still early in the investigation. But I have not heard that.
And we know you guys are.
The shooter was local.
We can't comment on that yet.
Identity.
Yeah.
Did he reload?
I'm not going to get into those specifics just yet. We'll release. I know everyone here who is local knows that we provide very detailed information on critical incidents, and we'll do the same here. It's obviously going to take us a little bit of time to get some of that detail to you.
Mayor, do you know what time you were first contacted about the shooting?
I think I got a text around 2:40. Yeah, I think around that time.
I wanted to clarify something on the timeline. Is that less than a minute from when the police first got a call about it, or less than a minute after the shooting first began?
Less than a minute after the shooting first began.
So they were right there.
They were there.
They were in the immediate vicinity and acted immediately.
Correct. They were there.
And these were uniformed officers? Do you have officers that work part-time off-duty jobs?
They were uniformed officers working in
the Oregon District.
In the Oregon District.
So, I mean, that's, I really want to, you all need to think about that a minute. If the officers were not in the Oregon District, the officers were there less than a minute from the beginning of the shooting. The shooter was able to kill 9 people and injure 26 in less than a minute. And if we did not have police in the Oregon District and the thousands of people in the Oregon District enjoying their Saturday evening, what we could have had in this city. So it is a terrible day for Dayton, but I am so grateful for Dayton Police's fast action. Okay, we'll be back. Remember our deal. No bad information. In return, I'll come see you every few hours. We will. All right?
Do you have a time of when you guys are coming?
I think we're going to come back at 10 a.m. Okay?
All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Dayton Mayor there, Nan Whaley, giving the latest in the investigation and saying there, of course, that she wants no bad information. Of course, no one does. But let me bring in James Galliano, who was listening to this news conference there out of Dayton after 9 people were killed, and she updated the number of those injured to 26. And the mayor, rightfully, James, putting punctuation on the fact that this shooter, they say, in less than a minute, a matter of seconds, killed 9 people, injured 26. Now, we don't know if all 26 of those were gunshot wounds, but in just a matter of seconds, so much carnage.
We learned a lot here, Victor, and this was very well done by the mayor and by the authorities here. Here's why. First of all, let the public know where we stand right now. There is no imminent threat. Police are working through it. We're going to give you basic information. We're not going to speculate. We'll report back to you. We have done superbly. Here's what else my takeaways were. I jotted down some notes. Thousands of people estimated to be in the area of this bar last night. As you pointed out, Victor, 26 casualties, 9 dead. Police have not established a motive yet. They're not going to get in front of this thing. They're being very cautious. I respect that because it leads to rampant speculation, and you know what that does. Police have got to be hyper-focused right now on determining whether or not there were any co-conspirators to this tragedy. Also, was there any connection to the El Paso shooting? I don't mean a connection as in people that were working together. I'm not surmising that. But was this a copycat crime? Did somebody see what happened yesterday and then elect to go out and do the same thing? Next, the police, especially the mayor, did not identify the weapon. She said it was chambered in .223. Now, I've carried weapons that were chambered in .223 in the military and in law enforcement. That means it could be an M16 type weapon or an M4, a Colt AR-15, but they did not specifically state what type. She also said the shooter was armed with high-capacity magazines. It was obviously chambered in .223, which means high capacity could be 20-round magazines, maybe 30-round magazines. I didn't suspect she said anything about having a drum. Next, the shooter was in possession of a bulletproof vest. It's against the law federally to own, purchase, or possess a bulletproof vest if you are a felon convicted of a violent felony. Now, it means nothing now. It's not going to bring anybody back, but they'll be looking at what the purpose of that was. Next and last, Victor, let's salute these cops. Understand that they got to this guy in 1 minute. Yes, there were uniformed officers down there on scene. That's understandable. But police officers armed with pistols that are going in to take down or interdict or apprehend a committed shooter with a long weapon, their bulletproof vests are useless. Those cops are hero. They should be saluted. Tragic, tragic consequences here. 26 casualties, 9 dead. It could have been, as mind-boggling as this is to think, much worse.
John Galliano with us this morning. And yeah, you point out a good point here. Of course, all of the elements there that we learned from that news conference, but the mayor being very specific about what is released and then sharing what is known and often what is as important, what is not known as this investigation continues. James, stay with us. We'll lean on your expertise throughout the morning. There's also this we just received from the governor of Ohio, Governor Mike DeWine. And let's put up his tweet. He sent this out just a few moments ago. Fran and I are absolutely heartbroken over the horrible attack that occurred this morning in Dayton. We join those in Ohio and this country in offering our prayers to the victims and their families. Of course, there will be plenty of questions as we now have 29 people killed in 2 mass shootings and up to 52 injured with the latest numbers from Dayton. If prayers to the families and communities will be enough for these the people who are suffering this morning with the loss of someone or with their injuries in hospitals. Let me bring in now